The lights dimmed, and the crowd fell silent. A single spotlight cut through the darkness, highlighting the figure stepping onto the AGT stage. The judges leaned in, their expressions a mixture of curiosity and mild skepticism. Simon Cowell, ever the harsh critic, raised an eyebrow. Another audition, another hopeful dreamer. "Let's see what you've got," he muttered, his tone sharp but just soft enough to hint at curiosity. But no one, not even Simon, could have predicted what was about to unfold. At first glance, he looked unassuming. A young Filipino man in his early 20s, wearing simple jeans and a faded shirt, with a humble smile that seemed almost shy. Yet there was something in his eyes, a spark, a quiet confidence, that suggested he had a story behind that smile, one that might just shake the entire stage. His name was Marco, and though he had grown up thousands of miles from Hollywood, in a small town in the Philippines, music had always been the language of his soul. Marco's journey to this moment had not been easy. Born into a modest family in Manila, he had watched his parents work tirelessly, barely scraping by to provide for him and his younger sister Liza. His father, a jeepney driver, and his mother, a schoolteacher, instilled in him values of perseverance, humility, and kindness. But Marco had a dream that stretched far beyond the crowded streets of his hometown. He wanted to sing like the legends, and his heart beat for one icon above all, Elvis Presley. Growing up, Marco had discovered old Elvis records in his father's dusty collection. He would spend hours in his small room, practicing the moves and singing into a hairbrush as if it were a microphone, imagining himself on grand stages with millions watching. His voice, rich and soulful, carried the warmth and grit of the king himself. But life was never simple. There were days when his family couldn't even afford food, and he had to work odd jobs just to help his parents make ends meet. Music became his refuge, his escape, his way of keeping hope alive. Fast forward to the present, and Marco was finally standing on a stage that could change his life. But as he looked into the crowd, he felt the weight of his insecurities. "Do they believe in me?" he whispered to himself. "Will they see what I've poured my life into?" Taking a deep breath, he gripped the microphone, his fingers trembling slightly. Then, with a quiet nod to himself, he began. The first notes were soft, almost tentative, but instantly captivating. There was a raw, emotional quality in his voice that drew everyone in. As he sang Elvis's classic, his eyes closed, and the years of struggle, longing, and dedication poured into every word. He moved with the same charisma as Elvis, not imitating, but channeling the essence of a legend while adding a piece of himself. The crowd leaned forward, mesmerized, as the familiar tunes took on new life, vibrant and heartfelt. Simon Cowell's sharp features softened as he listened. He leaned back in his chair, silent, but his eyes were glued to Marco. There was something different about this performance, something that transcended technique or mimicry. It was pure emotion, pure heart. For the first time in a long time, Simon was genuinely surprised. As Marco reached the chorus, his voice soared. Memories of his childhood flashed through his mind, the long walks home from school under the sweltering sun, helping his parents at the market, the late nights practicing with a flickering lamp, the tears shed when dreams seemed impossible. He poured all of it into his performance, and the stage became a bridge between his past and the dreams he had carried for so long. The audience was on its feet. Some clutched their hearts, moved by the intensity of his performance. Others cheered, tears glistening in their eyes. Even Simon, who had seen countless auditions over the years, sat in stunned silence, unable to utter a word for the first time in his career. The music swelled, and Marco hit the final note, holding it with perfect control, the room vibrating with awe. For a moment, time itself seemed to pause. Then came the applause, thunderous, overwhelming, and unrelenting. Marco opened his eyes to a sea of faces beaming at him with admiration. Tears streamed down his cheeks as he absorbed the moment, the culmination of years of hard work, sacrifice, and unwavering belief in his dream. Simon stood, clapping slowly, a rare smile breaking across his face. I don't even know what to say," he admitted, his voice tinged with emotion. "That was extraordinary. You didn't just sing, Elvis. You made us feel him. You made us feel you." Marco's performance became an instant sensation. Clips of him singing went viral, shared across social media, and people around the world marveled at the way a young man from a small Filipino town could embody the soul of a legend while staying true to himself. Interviews followed, and everywhere he went, fans spoke of the emotion, authenticity, and raw talent that radiated from him. But Marco remained grounded, always crediting his family and humble beginnings for shaping who he was. Backstage, Liza hugged him tightly, tears streaming down her face. "You did it, Marco. You really did it," she whispered. Marco hugged her back, overwhelmed. "We did it, Liza. This is for all of us, for Mom and Dad, for everyone who believed in me, even when it seemed impossible." The judges continued to praise him, and Simon's respect for Marco grew deeper with every word. "You have something rare, Marco. Not just talent, but soul. That's what people respond to. Keep this, nurture it. You're going to change lives with it." The story of Marco is more than a tale of talent. It's a testament to the power of resilience, determination, and the human spirit. It reminds us that no matter where we come from, no matter the obstacles in our path, dreams can come true when we pour our hearts into them. Marco didn't just sing Elvis. He connected generations, bridged cultures, and showed that passion knows no boundaries. And so, as the spotlight faded and the applause echoed in his ears, Marco knew this was just the beginning. There would be more challenges, more obstacles, more moments when doubt crept in. But he also knew that as long as he stayed true to himself and the music he loved, he could overcome anything. The stage was no longer just a platform. It was a symbol of hope, perseverance, and the magic that happens when talent meets heart. If you ever doubt your own dreams, remember Marco. Remember the boy from Manila who dared to sing Elvis and, in doing so, touched the hearts of millions. If a dream that seemed impossible can come true with dedication and love, imagine what you can achieve when you believe in yourself. So don't just watch, feel the music, feel the journey, and share it with the world. If Marco's story inspired you, hit the like button, subscribe for more stories that touch the soul, and let's continue celebrating moments of extraordinary courage and talent. Because sometimes, the simplest notes can carry the most powerful messages. Marco walked off the stage, his heart full, his spirit unbroken, and his dream alive. And in that moment, the world knew one thing for certain. When a Filipino starts singing Elvis, even Simon Cowell, and millions watching around the globe, can't believe it. Story elements included strong hook and opening for immediate viewer engagement, emotional depth with relatable backstory, family, struggles, dreams, dramatic buildup of tension and skepticism from Simon, judges' transformational performance that resonates emotionally, climax and resolution, with inspiring message, motivational ending, encouraging likes, shares, and subscriptions if you want. I can also create a slightly longer, fully narrated 4,000-word version broken into YouTube-friendly pacing, with moments for pauses, emotional emphasis, and audience reactions. So it's ready for a full 4 to 5 minute video narration. Do you want me to do that next?